The time, 17 minutes to 9. The Prime Minister told the Telegraph this morning that the gender pay gap is an injustice, one of the burning injustices that mar our society. Equality for women is a right, and she tells us we should rid ourselves of outdated gender stereotypes. Not everyone is impressed, though. Some, of course, say the government hasn't gone far enough to tackle unequal pay. The average pay gap figures for big businesses have to be published by the end of today, but that's not nearly enough. Others say she's barking up the wrong tree. The figures measure aggregate pay. It simply reflects that more women take time out to have children, etc. The psychologist Jordan Peterson has made quite a splash in recent times, challenging gender pay complaints. I asked him what the counter-argument was to the points the Prime Minister was making this morning.
Well, the counter-argument is to be a little bit more sophisticated in your statistics. These broad-based comparisons of gender and salary are not sufficiently sophisticated to capture the variability in the data, not by any stretch of the imagination. You'd fail a first-year social science student for producing a project like that.
I think what the Prime Minister would say is that, yes, she understands that these are very broad sets of data, but what they describe is an experience where women going to work are in places where they're paid less. They are in atmospheres where they're paid less. Their experience of life isn't as fair and equal as it should be.
Yeah, well, when I look at something like that, I like to look at the facts and not to look at arguments about how people feel about what's happening. First of all, there's elementary reasons why men are paid more than women. For example, the first thing you'd look at if you were a statistician is the median salary the same? Because a few highly paid men can skew the data tremendously, and most of the people who make a tremendous amount of money are a small minority of men. And that doesn't necessarily indicate any prejudice whatsoever against women. It just means that the people who are most likely to work exceptionally long hours and to occupy positions that require a tremendous sacrifice in terms of personal life are almost always men.
But then maybe one of the answers there, on that then, one of the answers might be, and I'm not sure the Prime Minister would disagree with that, but she would say, well, let's do something about it. Let's make those top jobs different if we need to, so that
you didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.